Did you put that link on the chapter page? Yeah. Yeah, I'm live. You got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. Yeah.
All right. It was fun. The monsters, but at work, 16, couple great bigger fish. Danny hooked him on one big one. Hey. I don't know. I think it's the lights is what's causing it. You go play with light. Okay. It just looks a little fuzzy on mine, but it's because it's shining so far up in the sky.
That's a 6-year-old with the
There was plenty of bay there. Now, did you watch the video when you're surrounded by bay, but you can't get a bite? Oh, yeah. Top.
Some of those 6 cents and everything. They sell them at Dick's. They kind of run it like a little bait.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They still sell those.
But if I throw that, I think we'll.
There's a lure I gotta show you. It's a live something.
Can you tell the difference which one's real?
No, is it the Berkeley Gillies?
That's what was jumping in my buddy cannot remember.
I've got a bunch of my tackle blocks. They are.
Oh, 6 cents.
It's a soft plastic, but it's a polymer.
And that sounds like a Gilly.
And it's awesome. Just jerk it on top of the water.
That's juicy.
This is what I'm trying to. Yeah.
No,
See, these are really weird. They don't swim right any of the ways that they tell you to rig it.
Yeah.
So I'll take a 16-ounce, like a crappie jig head.
Yeah.
Cut the hook part off of it, but leave the straight shaft.
Yeah.
Stick it in his chin, basically.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a screw lock hook, or a screw lock off of the hook, put it in his nose, and then put a circle hook through that screw lock, so it won't pull out.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's funny how we figure stuff out.
I fished with these bass fishing in the pool for about 3 months, trying to make it work right. And a buddy of mine that I met on the soft strong out was like, hey, I think I figured it out, try this. Oh, it works. It works really well. They just started making a mullet.
He's a
Live
You ever
target.
fish on
That's what it is.
Lake Shelby? It's almost a hidden gem. Got my personal best pictures.
Yeah, check this out.
Oh, yeah.
It's hollow. So you sit there, you just barely drag it across the top. In the school of mullet, it doesn't
They're
scare
like
the
twelve
mullet
feet
away.
on top of the wall.
If there's a trout redfish on it, it's getting hammered because it's a little bit slower and goofier than the rest of them.
That's awesome. You know, that water here is like a tan, red, and it turns the redfish. It's actually my court.
Yeah, pretty much.
Surprise! You couldn't serve us, right?
Dang, let me go back to the truck.
All right, Dan, you're just looking at the rocks reels. What do you think it's gonna be about? Yeah. Obviously the mountain, but the highs, big casters, can have strong lines. Most of us we got that You don't look like Candace.
Excuse me?
Your name tag says Candace, city
Yeah.
clerk.
Pretty good.
Looks are deceiving.
How you been?
Doing good, how about you?
He's acquired a couple of guys in the last few months, and he's fixed every one of them.
Yeah.
All I got is a 60-foot bass. There you go, he's big enough for me, my 7-year-old son. We go everywhere.
He got a quantum reel down here. I'm gonna have to burn him up about that.
I have a couple of bait casters.
That's what that is.
Yeah, I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
The only one I've ever had was whenever I was younger. I'm black and red accent.
Scott. Freezer's full, I'm gonna spend
Oh, yeah.
money on fish. We're not gonna.
So I,
That's a
I tried fishing with the calls.
I even broke out a couple of my ambassadors.
There's some guys go there.
Really?
Well, it's slow.
I go, it's like, I would catch a fish fast.
I'm-
With the mud on the
I'll
side of the
fish
road,
this
and I would.
It's not-
See, I'll do that too, and I'm gonna have to buy some slower reels, because all of mine are 7 or 8 to 1. You know, 28, 30 something inches per turn.
Yeah.
That's why I'm learning.
I drug out the more 55 and 65 and just to.
If they cast it halfway decent, it would
I used to
be.
fish in 4-foot rod.
Of course, I got a 10-pound braid.
I've never fished for them on braid.
50-foot water.
Back before, you know, the only time I've ever used them, way
The only
before.
time I ever used it was grunt bait.
Really?
You know,
Yeah.
Winches.
Yep.
It's got a crank, 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 crank.
I tell my kids, if you're on time, you're late. Sorry, you're good. All right, we ready to go?
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Glad y'all made it. Got everything tonight. Great speaker tonight. We're gonna learn how to catch redfish. And we're gonna present our donation to the Eagle Scout project. So, Mark will talk a little bit about that. I would ask you guys to keep an eye on the chapter page. We're gonna start putting out some surveys to get some input, more input on meetings, what y'all want to see. We've had a couple of suggestions this tonight that I think are very important, and we tend to overlook some things. And what we're going to do is basically bring back the basics. So what we're going to do is have some classes here. You know, some of us talk, anybody can talk, but you know, we want to take it by species. Okay, we're going to fish for, you know, free line and live shrimp. How do we set it up? What line, what hooks, where to hook the shrimp, stuff like that. It will move speckled trout, and we do redfish, and we do flounder. Just we're gonna be asking for input from you guys on what you want to see. Stuff that some of us, that have been, some of you guys that have been fishing a long time, take it for granted. And some of the younger people or newer to fishing, inshore fishing, don't know these things. So, I think that's very important, and, I think it's, needs to be, we need to integrate that in some of our meetings. So, I would even ask Shane tonight to start off with some very basic stuff and work us up into it. Since he's not going to tell us where to fish. So, welcome everybody, glad to see y'all. So we'll turn it over to Mark and,
All right, met Shane, I guess, a month and a half or so ago at the boat launch one morning, talking to him and explaining what we were trying to do here. It seemed like he was really eager to come and talk to us, so, it's been cool getting to know him, and I listen to him all the time on the Alabama Saltwater Fishery Report, so I feel like I might know a little bit of what's gonna happen tonight, but that's all right, because it's always interesting, always find something new to learn, so everybody's Shane Trey.
A little new for me, some of this stuff. I do some kind of speaking, this kind of thing with ACFA every now and then. It's a little bit different. There's a lot of people sometimes show up, which is great, but it's not near as intimate and as personable as this is. So I talked to Richard almost daily, but certainly asked him how thing, and he was like, man, it was cool because there wasn't so many people. We could talk and we could interact, where if you've got a room of 200 people, you're speaking to the mass. And so I thought maybe we could just kind of rein it in a little bit. I don't really have a topic. I talked to Mark a little bit. I'm like, is there something you want me to talk about? He's like, I don't want to fish it. I'm like, okay, well. So what I thought, and it's just me personally, if I go to one of these things, or just even my buddies, Richard, Bobby, whoever, I'm always peeking in their purse, their pack box. I'm like, she'll tell me, but I really want to see it, so I just pick my nothing wrong. Y'all are more than welcome. We'll talk about all this stuff. I don't know how long is this meeting?
hour. You got about 45 minutes.
Okay, well, throughout the course of the, whatever, this is an open box. Y'all can kind of look, I label my stuff so I know when I'm pulling out. I didn't think that was very important, and so he was like, that's a pro tip. No, pro tip. That's just something I've been doing. So I'm just gonna lay these out, I'm gonna look up and kind of look through them. Some of them may or may not be dirty. Some of them be rusty. And that's just what we're about right there. There's some other soft plastic, some hooks and stuff in there. But y'all are more than welcome to peruse through it. But yes, I've counted all of these. So, y'all, I know exactly how many are in here. Great talk, man. Yeah. So, what I was really going to kind of talk about, I just kind of took some notes for myself. So, as a little bit about me, my name's Shane Trevor. I run Bonafide Inshore Charter. It's just me, running a 24-foot skier, 300 horse, Minn Kota, control motor, arm, whatever. Just kind of basic, get it done. But I'm from Decatur, Alabama originally.
very north. I was called a Yankee when I moved here. I was from North Montgomery. That's what God's honest. This guy asked me, I worked with him, he said, "Well, you're a Yankee." I said, "No." "You're from North Montgomery." Okay. But anyway, I grew up fishing. My first deer hunting trip, I was 3. I've got a picture of that. I was as tall as a Jeep tire. And then Dad said I was fishing before that. So been doing that, grew up doing crappie, bass, catfish, a lot of stripers, that kind of stuff. Kind of moved here on a whim, really just didn't want to stay up there. Never wanted to work on a plant, there's a lot of plant work up there. Never really did that. I had a trade as a cabinet maker. Moved out here, opened my own shop, fished, work. Ended up finishing a degree in geology and worked as the project manager for a well drilling company. There's a well right behind us. Y'all know that. Right there in the house. But, so we did that kind of stuff. So we supplied drinking water wells for a lot of people around there, which was cool. But I kept turning away the business. I got my captain's license just out of curiosity. I knew I liked fish. I knew that if I could pick up a trip a month or 2, I could support my habit, hopefully. And obviously I have a habit. So it just kind of evolved and really just kind of fell into it. And management changes and things happen at work and everybody knows that. I was like, man, I'm tired of jumping these trips now. The money's good when it's coming, but it's like anything else. You're not working, you're not getting paid. So the trick is to keep working. But we're getting there. And I got some good support. People like you guys are certainly some help and word of mouth is your best marketing tool. So anyway, enough about that. What I've learned immediately about fishing around here is that these fish move all the time.
You gotta
And
chase
I
them.
mean daily.
You gotta chase them.
You got it. And yes, there's summer patterns, spring patterns, winter patterns, fall patterns. We know kind of what we're going to do here today, gone tomorrow. And they'll stay in a spot or an area for a while until they get pushed off. And it may be a temperature, it may be bait, it may be temperature and bait, it may be pressure. People forget about pressure. A lot of people don't believe in it. That's just unfortunate, because you go and pound with a group of fish long enough, they're going to figure it out. And I'll pound it on some redfish and I don't know, March or April, early spring. I don't know how many trips we had that were guessing, say 30 to, I know 70 fish. We counted on maybe 70. We quit at 70. I pounded on for about a month. And I couldn't believe it. Every time I show up, they still bite me. I don't know what's wrong with these fish. Of course, now, I know a lot of the talk and some of the soft strong stuff and myself, this conservation line thing. I'm not going there killing all those fish. I'm responsibly harvesting these fish. I will kill them. I'm not anti-killing fish, but I'm not out to see how many I can lay on the play table and take a picture for Instagram. I know that. So it's just not my way. Nothing wrong with taking some home. Nothing wrong with any of that. But I fish 200 days a year. If I go out and people in every time, that's a lot of fish out of the system. And I don't want to do that. Guy that can go on the weekend once a month, we'll keep living. How about that? You and your buddies load them up. I mean, that's fine. But I
I'll be lucky to get my limit.
Well, everybody's only gonna be doing it, that's the thing,
Yeah,
you know,
sometimes, yeah, most of the time, no.
right, and so the limit's not supposed to be easy. And it's not, it's your limit, that means it's a maximum you're supposed to take out of it.
Back in 05, 06, it was easy.
Well, right.
Back then, you know?
Yeah,
Big 20-inch strap.
I used to
20-inch flounder.
I was telling somebody the other day, one of the best trout bites I've ever been on in my life. I mean, quality and quality. I was scooting, I probably shouldn't say this in the courtroom, but I was, scooting the boat over the boat to get them. No, and then they said, hey, if you do that, you're going to jail. I was like, yeah, we won't be doing that anymore. But we just scoot over there. So, you know, the oil spill's killing the fish, I'm like, we're killing those. I'm listening, those guys are good.
That was some of the best, if they were alive. they
Yeah.
would be-
But,
That was some of the best fishing back then, because it wasn't like fishing, I was scared of.
Yeah.
right,
Fish, populating up.
absolutely.
But if fish were alive, they were good to eat.
They were big. I mean.
They're not gonna sit.
Shrimp were alive, fish were good to eat.
One, I'm sorry, I'm just not coming into this, thank you, but I want y'all to interact with me. So, I may have a little bit of a plan, and I get to it, I don't care. Talk to me, I wanna know what y'all wanna know from me. I'm no authority, I'm just a guy, likes to fish,
I think Flounder's a lot better now. I
No
mean,
question.
way better.
no question.
I mean, when they first brought that in, well, I was pissed. I'll be
Yeah.
honest about it. I mean, but now, it's like,
No question.
it's decent.
We had Dylan King and Richard here, last 2 months, talking about all of their efforts. and
Absolutely.
They turned.
I'm sure you
Those two guys have
guys.
caught more flounder in the past 3 years than all of us combined.
Yes.
Crunch.
Yep.
They caught part of the study, it was last year, or the year before, I'm sure they told you. 300 and something flounder in a window. I'm not talking about one year, I mean like a 3-month window or something, on artificial method.
From 60 in 2019, over a summer and the fall, they caught 60 flounder.
Yeah.
And now we are where we are.
300 plus fish in a window, up to about, I know I went with Richard and Dylan, checking stuff in October. All 3 of us who should know how to catch a fish, we caught one little chi-chi about that long in about 8 hours. Wow. They were gone. Now, we had an area we had to cover, you know, Dolphin Island, the Sound, some rigs and stuff like that. So we went out there, and Bill was like, just see if they're still here, they're on their way out. We know they're on the way out, you know, are they gone yet? One out of those 3 guys is, or at least those 2 guys. That tells you what they do. So I'm not a big flounder guy.
I'm not in, but it's
Yeah.
nice to catch one. Wow.
Oh, I catch some though.
Yeah.
We caught 12 the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I just set the record book.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were over 5 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, on the boat, it looks like you had a fist in your belly. So those are the females. So Bill says is like, I guess the males never get much above 15, 16.
Yeah, the males probably will never be a keeper. Is what.
Right, yeah. So, so these are what we want to see, you know, and, now we didn't keep any of those fish. Which the people that were with me were from out of town, they're like, we're not trying to take fish home, we don't care. I'm like, cool. Let them all go. Bill's like, put a tag in them. I'm like, no. Gotta get you again. But I haven't seen them again. So this is wherever I called them, they were there, and I fished in the area they called them. They were there, and they moved wherever they're going. The redfish we were catching in that general area. I don't think they're going far, but I can't find them. Well, I can't find them because it can hung up to catch a trout.
Yeah.
So I'm like checking these areas, and like the trouts are biting. I'm not leaving them. You know, and then, you know, as the bite kind of dwindles, we'll say, it's good to see if we catch a redfish, we might catch one or two. That's how it goes. But they'll still back up.
it's kind of the time of year, I don't know what they're doing right now. But they get a little weird right now. But they'll come back, late summer, you know, September, October, we call it red October. And for a reason, and they get nasty in October. They'll chase those toads, you find those school toads everywhere. They'll just, like, the mouths of the rivers, like Dog River, Fowl River, Canal, wherever, you'll see these hordes of toads, I mean, it's acres of them. And there's big giant redfish in there getting fat. And they're coming in, from what I understand, they're coming in to lay those eggs in those estuaries. Those fish will, and then I'm speaking on what I hear from the science. They'll lay those eggs in the estuaries, like the rivers. They're born there, they'll stay there until they're about upper slot size. Then they're sexually mature, they move off, they go swim offshore, come back. So I know that it works because I've had days where as recently as May, we had some wind, it was bad, fish that been catching were not going to be accessible. Until my guy, I called him, and he said, he fishes with me 5 or 6 times a year. I said, hey man, I said, I know you're coming to town, it's from Tuscaloosa, unfortunately. I said, hey man, how bad do you want to do it? He was like, well, I'm not going to be back till July, this is May. And he said, I'm ready. And I said, well, we may be boat riding. And he goes, I'll bring some extra beer. I said, okay. And I said, we're going to go hide in the river. And we went to Fowl. And I said, there's some areas in there that I catch redfish in fairly consistently, but it's usually in fall and winter. I don't fish there this time of year. So we can get out of the wind, but I forget what the wind was. It was bad. It was like 20, 30. Where you going? We stomped, like way lost count early. And good quality fish. He's looking at me like, you're the man. I'm like, this is love, man. And so we went and checked some spots, and we kind of found a group of fish. Like we fished a bunch in the river, and they were only in one little spot in the river.
How was fishing?
How?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I didn't catch where it was again.
Not true.
He said foul.
So look, these rivers are all the same. Or I say they're all the same, they're not all the same, but they're basically the same. You've got, a channel running through the river. Well, every time that river takes a turn, Dog River, Fowl River, Magnolia, wherever, they're all the same. Every time the river makes a turn, you're going to have a point bar coming off the point. You got a shallow flat on the outside. So there's going to be a sharp drop off somewhere. Now, when they get hard to find, they're going to be on those ledges, probably. And they're going to be around the wood. They love the wood. And I don't know why. I guess it's all the junk that's growing on. You pull up a wall, it's got barnacles, it's got these little baby crabs are like this big. Yeah. I had one in my cast net the other day. There's life there, okay? And redfish, they're real, and so the go-to deal, for me, on a lot of those areas is we're cruising flats, and I've got a pot and cork and a shrimp, live shrimp. I mean, you can catch them on all kind of other stuff. This is all my fish and bait here. So we fish artificial and bait tournaments all winter, and that's my favorite thing to do. But put them in a boat,
It's hard to keep a live shrimp. Really hard. And so, everybody uses different popping cords. I made some of my own, I don't think I brought some. Brad Brown makes a great cord. But these are these little cheap flip-on weighted cords. And this is pretty much all I use on charge. They make a good noise, you can cast them a mile, and when I lose one, they cost a quarter instead of $10. But I've got a pretty fast action rod. See how thin it is? It's up there, the top third. I want to be able to whip that thing out. And so we'll cruise those flats and try to find those fish. If they don't work there, I'll take this little split shot off and I'll put a heavier one on. Just, y'all see it if you look through this stuff. I got two sizes. It's this one and the big one. I don't know what number they are. Like the little one and the big one. The big one's about the biggest one I can find. It may be a number 3. It's about a 4 ounce bottle. But a lot of the reason I do this is I may fish a flat at Fowl River and come around the corner and say, I want to fish the drop over here. Because those corners, those channels will hug one bank or another as they come out, you know. And usually when they hug the bank, there's stumps on them. So I'll take the cork off. So I don't have to re-rid it. I just pull this off. And usually if I'm doing that, I keep the big split shot on there. So I have to redo that. So then I've got just a, you know, it's very easy to do. So I take that off and ready to go. And I've got a split shot hook. I usually like a split shot a little higher than that. I just like that. And I just throw it out there, make a cast, start feeding the line. Just watch the line go down. When it gets to the bottom, and I don't jig it, but I don't let it just sit still. So if you drag those, if you're in that heavy cover, whether it be shell or stumps, roots, whatever, if you drag it, you're going to get the stuff. And if you think about shrimp, y'all all seen shrimp in the water, like, so when that thing gets to the bottom, let it come up and fall. And even the big weight is not a rock weight. So that shrimp's kind of fighting the thing. It's a slow fall. You just wait. It's the bottom. It's a 50 second. Really can't stand it. If it's in front of him, you know, yeah. Tricky is getting in front of him. So, you know, there's that. That's my little, you know, I know I'm not the only person that does that. But it's a little bit of a trick because it kind of goes back to, you know, I had a really good dad that started me early, and he taught me a lot, and I'm so thankful for it, especially now that I'm having them. You know, as you get older, you're like, you appreciate things a little more, but he used to tell me all the time, it rings in my head all the time. When the fish is slow, fish slow. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation where I'm like, I know these things are here, or I think they're here. I'm seeing them on the machines. I've got bait, and they don't feed all the time. They don't eat all the time. You see, you know, fields full of cattle sitting down, not doing a thing. All of a sudden, one of them gets up, they start moving around, and then they all get up and start moving. I think fish do the same thing, deer do the same thing. So I kind of keep that in my head, and that little trick right there, you put a split shot of shrimp in there, and you just cruise
So
around.
what size hook do you use?
Well, I've got a bunch, but I'm kind of stuck. As a go-to, I'm using a 3-aught octopus hook. It looks a little like a serpent. It's not a serpent hook. It's kind of offset. Y'all can see it in here. It's kind of offset, and it doesn't make that final hook. Okay? It finds a good home. It usually going to hook in a quarter now.
I use a good sharp, high quality hook. I don't mess around with cheap hooks. I'll play with some a little bit. And y'all see, like, if you look through here, I've got, turn this up. So these are all treble hooks, right? So, or not all treble hooks, some of them. Some of these are tail hooks. What I do is I cut the label out of them, and I put it in the bottom of each compartment. And then that's this brand, this size, this brand, this size. There's no standard in those sizes. So a 2-off Gamakatsu may not be like a 2-off Mustang. I don't care what it's called, I want it to have the right size and the right weight. So, and these are Eagle Claws. I got Oxford hooks in here. These are a little bigger than I usually use. Some of these are trouble. These are all tail hooks. I've been kind of experimenting a lot with tail hooks lately with croaker fishing. So
The bait.
the bait.
Are you fishing for a big croaker? You say you're using, testing them out with my croaker
I'll
fish?
be using croakers for bait. And I'll use a croaker from that big to that big. Some of the best speckled trout fishing you can ever get on is right now with a live croaker. Free line. I don't care what depth it is,
Just anywhere.
doesn't matter. If you're around them, throw a croaker in front of them, you'll catch better quality fish. Get through there. I don't fish the rigs a lot. Mainly because I'm stubborn and I don't like to fight people for a spot. And that's one of those areas you can get to, and then now you got 6 people coming in, crossing your lines. I just don't like it. But the other day, it was during the week, the wind was right. I'm scouting and playing, so I'm gonna run down here. First rig I see. I stop. I don't fish them. I don't know anything. The only thing I know is that there's a website, and I can share it if y'all don't have it. It's public knowledge. It's some of the marine resource people. All of those rigs are reinforced with rock, and they tell you where they're going. So in my head, now obviously that's not the only place the fish are going to be. Certainly a good place to start. So they're chunk, rip-rap rock, and there's other things in there. They've done some concrete with some rebar reinforcements and all kinds of stuff.
See the other machines out there.
Yeah, there's some nests out there. So I just go out there, and again, I don't fish. I went out there. I had some big giant cob shrimp. I had some small shrimp. I'm throwing in there, slip cord, this, that, nothing. I'm like, I know these fish are down here. I pitched a croaker in there, free line croaker in 18 feet of water. No weight, nothing. Fishing in there up current, and then just sweep down. 4 pounder. Right, over here. Fishing another one in there. Sky, about the same kind of fish. Spit the hood. They want a croaker. Sometimes they're that finicky. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they'll eat a hot dog. I caught redfish on a hot dog. Honest goodness. We were on a charter. We're catching them as fast as we can throw in there. They're smallish, lower slot to undersized red. So then you can catch these fish on a hot dog right now. The guy goes, I got some beanie weenies in my backpack. For real? He goes, yes. I put one out there. Threw it out there. So sometimes they don't care. Other times they really care. So just, gotta be open to everything. You're doing yourself a disservice this time of year if you don't go fishing loaded for bear. The reason I brought all this is this is what I'm taking with me on my charter right now. I'm ready to go for whatever. We've got, we've got stone trout, we're ready for redfish. Some of the reds I catch, this time of year around some pretty heavy cover, fish a lot of boat docks. East side, west side of the bay, fish, how many boat docks are there? I mean, really, I don't know, 10,000?
mean, maybe not 10,000, 5,000. This is a beefier reel. This is a 5,000, well, it's quantum. I use a lot of quantum stuff. This is quantum's 50 size. So it's a 5,000 size. This is a heavy action rod. I catch Jacobite on this rod, no problem. This smaller 50 size reel for quantum has the drag equivalent of probably a 6,000 or so shot. Got a treble hook, pretty big one. When I get around, and these are bigger fish I'm fishing for. I'm not talking about, rat reds. I'll throw the cast net, catch a big live pogey, and let the pogey swim around the dock. Put him on that cord because I can see where he is. If you just let him swim, a pogey's going to go nuts. I throw a pogey over here, it's going to be over there in just a second. So if I keep the fork on him, it keeps him up, and I can watch him. And I can get around his dock where I am. And I can, give him some line if I need to. If you just let him, if you give him his head, he's going to go in circles, and you're going to have a big mess. So you got to keep, something on. You got to keep a little bit of talk. Yeah, you want to give him his head, you want him to look natural, but if he gets up around those piers, you got to hold him there. Sometimes you got to hold him. If they're there, they'll leave.
So do you,
know something?
I know, yeah. So that's a pretty big treble hook. Y'all can look at all this. This is probably I don't know, we can look at the thing. That's all I have to look at. Probably a number 2, a snow treble, big round end treble. I'll hook them through the nose with one of the hooks sideways, and let the other 2 hang out. There's other ways to hook them.
You go sideways through?
Sideways through the nose, right through the cartilage. You want to get that hook in there, because if you go like through their eyes or something, it's real loose. It won't hold. That's the reason I like the treble, because that hook I hook them with, I'm not worried about hooking the fish. I don't care. I want to stay in bait. The other 2 will fit. And they're usually going to swallow with the can head first anyway. So they got it. And, with a live bogey, I'm talking about I fish with bait bigger than my hand. And when he bites it, of course, he's going to go under. And don't set the hook. I'm a hook setter too, so it's a thing with me. I'm gonna hold it down a little bit and just let it. You don't have to wait 10 seconds. I mean, a couple seconds, 1, 2, 3 seconds, something like that. Let it down, just get tight. It's usually not gonna be a problem. Get tight. He's usually gonna do it for you. Just get tight and you'll be it.
so Shane, on that setup there, do you prefer braid?
All of those have breakage.
Then you use how long a leader?
This long.
What weight leader?
I'm peeling off. I typically peel off about that much line and maybe a little more for knots to cut it. There's no magic number to it. The slick lure rod I use, I'll use, I don't know. I just don't want it to get too short. So I'm throwing all mine in leader, except for the slick lures. The slick lures I'm using are all 4 carbon. I want some, those baits have a tendency to rise, and which is fine sometimes. I mean, they work. We're using a weighted hook for a reason. It keeps them down. If you have an unweighted hook, it wants to sit this high in the certain area, which may work. And you catch me in the fall and winter time, you may come in the boat and I've got 3 or 4 slick lures tied on, and you're like, why so many? I'm like, well, one of them's a backup. One of them's, unweighted, one of them's weighted, one of them's, a little bit different, but usually unweighted and weighted. But majority of it's weighted. But the rest of it's mono. The reason I do that is braid has no stretch. And we're talking about, redfish, who cares? You could bulldog the redfish all day long. Doesn't matter. Speckled trout, it's another story. Paper thin mouth. How many trout do you catch and pulling in and they got a hole in the mouth? And the hook just falls out.
If you would have let off for 1 second, that fish would be gone. So I use a mono for a little bit of a stretch. So it's my little shock tool. In a perfect world, Bobby Abishado said that in a perfect world, he would fish braid, and as soon as the fish did, it would go to mono. And that's true. I mean, that would be great, you know, if it would, because you have all that stretch and have all that play, because you don't need braid. You know, 90% of the time, you don't really need braid with fishing. The braid is for the strike and the hook set. And, you know, if you don't fish braid, like if you jig fish or something in deeper water, which we do a lot of in the wintertime, those guys that are not fishing braid with a jig, they're missing fish. I mean, there's no, you know, if that's what you like to do, that's fine. But you're missing fish, you'll never know they're there, because sometimes that bite is just, and they're, you know, they'll pick that bait up, and if you're not watching your line, for one, and you don't have that sensitivity, you'll never know. And even with braid, sometimes it's hard to tell. Oh, we call it the wet rag bite. You're jigging these baits, and pop, pop, and you're like, you know, and you feel like you just looked at a wet bag or something down there, and you're like, what? And it bites back. So, I think it's super, super important to have a braid. Plus, you can put, you know, the diameter of the braid is way smaller than mono. So you can put a lot more line on a smaller reel. You're casting all day. I mean, and I know a lot of these, you know, I mean, that's a pretty small rig to catch, you know, redfish, speckled trout. That's a 30 size reel. And a medium light, that's a medium light rod. That's my program rod right now. I bought these rods for dirt cheap at Black Friday sale at Mark's Outdoors down below. They're a 13 fishing ring. But you put them on sale, they're normally $100, they're 3 for $50. So I bought a pile of them. My wife, she said, what did you do? Don't worry about it. But, so this is my Kroger stuff for right now. There's nothing on there but a kill hook. That's a 2-aught kill hook. I fish a bigger hook than a lot of people do.
With that kill hook, you're letting that fish eat, and basically it's gonna set the hook on itself. You're just letting it come tight with that kill hook.
Yep. Most of the time, this is why I brought this stuff. It's impossible for me to talk about this without showing. So like, I've got this bait out there. And a lot of times, I've got a bail open. And I've got this tension right here. And I'll let, if he wants to run a little bit, I want to go that way, I'll give him a little bit of freedom. Now, all this condition dependent. If the wind's howling and you do that, you've got a big boat in your line, and you don't want that. So, if that happens, you drop your rod in a little bit. Get that line low, the bill will catch the flow. But you just gotta you gotta play with it, and it's gotta be an experience. But yes, so the fish bites more often than it's wonderful. More often than not, there's no question when it bites. And you're like, oh, that thing's getting nervous. And it feels like somebody hit it with that. When that happens, if you can, if your rod's a little high, you don't have to have it here. But if your rod's a little high, just drop the rod. But if you're having trouble with wind, then that's when I open it up and I hold it like this so I can just let it take it. You don't have to let it, I mean, I'm not talking about having it for a minute. I mean, just a little bit. I mean, because if you think about it, he's trying to eat that thing. He's not playing with it. So he's got to bite that Kroger. I don't know if you've ever seen them do that. They'll grab something like that and kind of choke it down. And I don't want it to gut look, but more often than not, those little cowboys just within a little corner. Now, where do you hook it? So lately, the croakers I've been using, I'm putting them right above their, right above the butt, right above the ankle fin.
On the bottom side?
Bottom side. Now, that's not the best way to keep them alive. They're gonna die. You're gonna pull them in backwards and you're drowning. You're drown fish, that sounds stupid, but that's what happens. Can't hook them in the nose, instead of togies, I'll put them in the nose. I'll hook some croakers in there. My buddies were with me, in North Alabama a couple weeks ago, and we were mashing fish. And they didn't like hooking them the way I was hooking them. They were hooking them in the nose and doing just fine. And they were using octopus hooks. They didn't like these hooks. So, whatever works for you is what you need to do.
What size break do you like to use?
On these reels, I'm at 20 pound. I'll step it up to, so this bigger reel, this one's got 40 on it. I don't really think it's that necessary. I think I can get 5 and 20 on this. But this reel's gonna hold so much line, I still need it, and I'd rather have that muscle. And this is a 30 or a 40 pound leader. This is probably a 30 pound leader right here. All my others are 20. I don't have anything in my boat under 20. I know you can do it, and I know people that do. I just don't feel it's that necessary. Our water around here is not that clear. And you know, when it is, those fish are stupid. I promise you. The north end of Grand Bay, all that stuff over there in the wintertime will get gin clear, and those fish are terrified. So I just don't think it's that necessary.
Are you catching your own croakers, or you buying them, or?
Kind of depends. Like tomorrow, I'm going in the morning, kind of scouting a little bit. And we got a big group trip coming up Thursday, Friday. I'm not gonna catch them. And this time, look, the water temp the other day was 86 degrees. So they're not gonna live very long. And then keep them cool, you can put some stuff in them to get them overnight. A lot of times I'll buy my shrimp overnight, put ice water bottles in them, just to keep them cool. And you can babysit them, but the croakers don't really like it that way. So usually I'm scooping them up the morning of, use them. I'll try to keep them alive, but usually what happens is I get up next morning, I'm like, you know, 2 dozen croakers and 15 of them are dead. So, but here's another deal we use a lot. We caught fish during the rodeo on Slick Lure a couple of years ago out in the bay, and I wouldn't have told you that was going to happen, but it did. Everybody talks about this. Y'all are tired of hearing about it. I hear it all the time. Like, you guys are getting, you're getting kickbacks from Slick Lures. Like, nope. We just use them. And we're good, and we kind of help the guy out by fishing them. These things work. They're a pain in the neck. I'll go ahead and tell you, they're a pain in the neck to learn how to fish. They're a pain in the neck to learn how to catch fish on. I fished them for about 2 years, and I threatened to burn every one of them. And I'm a tackle junkie, so I had a bag, and I threatened, I can tell you, go out there and put it in the grill, and I'll set every one on fire. Because I'll get the bites, and I'll lose the fish. And I'm a hook setter, I'm a bass fisherman.
Oh, yeah, that's.
And Richard, I was kind of cussing at him one day, and he goes, "You set the hook?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Are you really?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I got out of the practice of trout fishing. When I come down here and like, you can't do that with trout." He was like, "Are you really setting the hook?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Are you coming out of your shoes?" I was like, "Well, maybe not." He goes, "I need to see daylight between you and the boat." I'm like, "Okay." And he wasn't that far off. And when that fish bites that slick lure, you need to come out your shoes. And not everybody can do that. It's a whack, and you're like, give him a pause. I mean, again, not a big pause. Make sure he's on it, and lay the wood to him.
And that's the worst thing you can do, trout fishing, I understand. We got braid, it's everything backwards from trout fishing. But if you don't with it, you won't. And when it hooks them, that's a big hook. That's a, you know, there's no standard in hook size again. This, if it's the owner beast, it's a three, what is it? 4-aught. It's a 4-aught hook, it's a big hook. The Eagle Claw Trocar equivalent, 5-aught, it's the same hook. So, and you can buy 10 of them for $11 from Bass Pro.
If you can find them.
You can order them online. Yeah, I ordered about 200 of them. Because you can get, like I said, there's a pack of 10 of the Trocars for $10.99.
Really?
Yeah. Which is like, how much is a, 5-pack of?
It's almost that.
You know, about the same thing, so.
One thing I
And we-
want to do.
There was a supply problem with the owners.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I got a few, but we gotta figure something out. And you don't lose a lot of them.
And then you screw lock on them, you can convert them over. I bought a whole pack off of Amazon,
Absolutely.
like $1.
Yep.
To, you can convert every one of them, it's easy to do it.
Yep. If y'all don't know, the owner, so the owner and the Eagle Claw hook are, if they're not identical, they're so close you can't tell the difference.
And the couple guys who also,
Do they make one this size?
they make a 4-aught, no, it's a 3-aught.
It's no, it ain't nowhere near.
No, it's probably not.
That's on the beach,
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
this is for the sleep gene.
Yes,
They're
yes,
perfect.
absolutely.
For sure.
So, so the big difference between the Trocar and the owner is the screw lock that screws it with the band. The owner has a pin in the middle of it that really works real well. But you can buy the screw locks by themselves. That's what he's talking about. You can convert them over. And the Eagle Claw works, it's just not as, it works as well as this. But again, we're using you can see the bend in the rod, it's up there at the top. So when I lay into that fish, I got it on the meat pretty quick. And you can, you know, it's all the difference in the world.
How are you working your sticks?
10,000 lays.
Okay. Whatever way you work.
Whichever so, yeah, exactly.
Because I'm asking the point that you work.
Well, it's a valid, I'm with you, because I'm serious, I was right there, and I'm telling them, like, I can catch it, I don't need that thing, you know, I can do it, but you'll get confidence in it, and then you'll use it all the time.
But what I like about it is you can make it weak and soft. Don't stop your grass and stuff.
Yep.
But if it's not getting bites, it's gonna.
My problem was I was getting the bites, and I couldn't get them in the boat. But, and I'm kind of stealing from everybody here, but I'm not telling anybody secrets. You watch, now, the bulk of the fishing with this is gonna be fall and spring. Okay? But I'm still gonna throw it, you're not gonna see it, not on my boat. Because I like catching them. But, watch Bobby, you get up here around Bobby, you can see him, say December, January, fishing with fall tournaments or whatever. He's got his rod load, and he's doing this. He ain't doing anything. Every now and then you'll see him go. And that bait, when he's doing that, he's doing this right here. And you pause it, he's doing most of his work with a hand. Now Richard looks like a crackhead on a pogo stick. That's what we're gonna move on that. But, me, now, but he'll do all kind of different things, but Richard will let it fall, and he'll go. And he's trying to make that thing run, and he'll hit this handle, and he looks like he's throwing the rod, and he's not, he's taking it aside. But the handle's spinning so fast, he's taking up with it, but he's a hero, so. I can say that because he's my friend. But,
Most of the time, I've got my rod low, and I've got pointed to the bait. I learned that a long time ago from, Kevin Van Dam, walking, talking about fish and spinnerbait. So, when I throw it, and I'm keeping the rod somewhat pointed at the bait, and I'm slow rolling it, and I'll pause it. I'll give it a little- When you do that, it does this, and then it glides. It wants to come up, even with the way to hook, it wants to come up. And it's, and we're fishing this in 6 to 8 feet of water or less, most of the time. If I'm gonna throw it 2 feet of water, absolutely. Am I gonna throw it at 6 feet? Absolutely. When I get over in that deeper water, I lose a little confidence, but speckled trout like to spin. So there's nothing wrong with throwing this thing in 20 feet of water. They absolutely love to spin in that depth of water. Especially if you're marking on your machine, you can't catch them any other way. You're jigging, where they're out deep water, I got jig. Or I got throw a slip cord, or I got. The other day out that rig, I'm free lining a croaker in 18 feet of water. There's no way in the world it was down in the lower part of that column. That croaker was up high, especially with that current ripping through there. I doubt that croaker was 5 feet deep. So, but anyway, I'm usually kind of seeing what the fish like. I'll give them a little bit of, and then a lot of times I'll just drag it. I say I drag it, but you're just swimming it, and you go. And that's the equivalent of body spinning the wheel a little bit, It's the same action. But many times I'll drag it, see when I stop it. And then, whack. But I'm not gonna do it, I'll end up breaking the rod. So, another thing we do a lot, and again, it's probably not gonna, well, I shouldn't say that. It works now. These spinning baits, hard baits, this is my favorite one. It's a Miradine XL, over 27 anymore, maybe, I forget the number. Y'all can look at these anytime, but I've been shoot on a little bit. I'll let y'all in on a little secret, don't tell everybody. I've talked about it on the podcast before, so I swap the hooks out with these, and it makes it float. So when I twitch it, it dives down about a foot and a half, that's about it. And it'll dive. It doesn't dive, it just goes down. So it goes down, and when I stop it, and it barely floats. So when I kill it, it's this quiver, slow, like when you pause it, give it 5 seconds. If it's close enough, you'll see it. But hit the surface. They'll blow it up on the surface sometimes. That's another hard one. So this is a medium action rod. See the bend in that rod is a way back. If it starts bending about right here, instead of up here, like those other ones. So with this, I don't want to set the hook. I want that rod to be that shot absorber for me. So you start having a stiff rod with treble hooks, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it anyway with that. I mean, those treble hooks pull a lot of fish. I don't know how, but they'll hit the mess out of this bait right here. They'll hit it like a freight train, and they don't get hooked. And it's nothing anybody's doing.
We think, oh,
I don't know. Because I promise you, if I pitch it out here, in the middle of y'all, when you grab it, you can be hooked.
Now just find your shirt. Shirt.
And you find your pants.
Yeah.
And
Rag hanging on the side.
yes, so I don't know the answer to all that, but it's half sharp hooks.
That's what I did, change my hooks on.
Yeah, top waters all the time, every day. This is my go-to. This is an old rod. I can't get rid of it. I like it. I'll fish it till it breaks, I guess. Soft action rod. This is an old Kistler rod. Bought these at Academy on steel.
y'all ever shot any haven't.
You know, your wife's not here, you don't have to keep saying.
Oh, and the worst thing in the world that could happen is she'd sell my gear for what I told her I bought it for. But, no, this one, you live in that. You can't buy this rod for under $20 or $200, and I bought these for 20. I went in there, they had them on clearance, I said, how many do you have? He said, that right there. I said, does anybody else have any? He goes, how many do you want? I said, all of them. It was like, no. But anyway, can't get them more, but this one's a top water rod. I've got 1 million top water baits in there, and one I throw is gonna be pink. Every time, all day, every day. And the reason is I can see it. That's the only reason. The trout like pink, everybody knows that, or a lot of people know that. It does have a deep belly, but I don't really care what the belly looks like too much. I think it's an action and movement. I think it's a silhouette and a profile more than the color. But I can see the top, and I can see it that they disappear. The best way in the world, that's got a scale on it still. I tell people all the time, the best way in the world to fish a top water bait is with your eyes closed and with your ears closed. And nobody's gonna want to do that. Me included.
That's the best part about top water.
Well, I know, but what happens is the fish goes, boom. Don't do that. So you gotta reel it in. So you just keep doing what you're doing. Sometimes it's a paw. Sometimes it is on the paw. Sometimes they want it moved. I caught it not too long ago, the water was kind of choppy, and I was skipping that bait. I wasn't even working it really. I was just skipping it to go across the waves and stop it. I'd skip it about 5 feet and stop it. And when I stop it, they plow. If I worked it in there like I normally do, they wanted it to run away. I don't know.
How huge or little fish?
Whatever this is a skin roll, gravel skin roll. So look at it. I don't get that knowledge of them. Again, I know people do, and they may be more successful at it than I am. But I kind of, take what's working and go with it. I don't think trout like a whole lot of wolves. And that's just my personal take. Too much is too much. I don't think I've brought a lot of them. In the Delta, a lot of times we'll throw these round traps. Like that one, I don't like that one. So this is I don't know where brand. Normal round trap kind of things like that. These are the 1 knot round trap. I have more luck with that. I think when I bait for a trout, it's too erratic, kind of like, and I know a lot, I know I can give you names of people who agree with me. Big trout are lazy. I know a guy just catches a hammer trout in Little Ravine a few years ago. I mean, on a regular basis. You get a text and like, hey, and he doesn't, he's kind of new to it. And he was like, hey, what's up? He texted me and his uncle one night in our lake one evening. He says, what's a 27-inch trout like? I'm like,
Doesn't matter.
he went, like Little Lagoon? And he goes, yeah. And I said, where? 5 pounds probably in Little Lagoon because they're skinny over there. He goes, I said, my wife caught one that was 28 in Powell River in spring, and it was 8.5. But, yeah, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 pounds. Okay. About 30 minutes later, it was a 29-inch trout leg. And he was sticking pogies to the bottom. Carolina rig with 1 ounce weight with big live pogie, throwing them in where you knew obviously they were. Stick them to the bottom and let the pogie sit there. Trout lazy, big trout. I say that the next time you get one bite, you can blow the walls off the place. But so anyway, that's kind of that. Now, another
other thing I really wanted to kind of touch base on tonight was, well, we kind of talked about the seasons and the stuff, techniques. This time of year, it's tough. It's getting tough. Past week, my trout light has been done by 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you don't have something else to do, you're gonna be boat riding or explaining why the fish don't bite.
Okay, now.
Yeah, well, we're starting early. So now the sun's up. 5:30, I mean, we've been watching at 5:30, and I'm going, we are kind of late.
Yeah.
So really, I would like to be sitting on where I want to start at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is hard to get a customer to do.
So that brings me to a question. And it's a situational question. So you're Weeks Bay, Wolf Bay, I don't care what bay it is. There's ducks coming out of grass. It's 5:30, so you're getting that orange hue coming up in the sky. You are surrounded by mullet just rolling all over you. What are you gonna throw first?
I want to be around.
It's almost everywhere right now. I mean, you saw that yesterday, didn't you? Yeah, we just bait all around. You know, the water is 80-something degrees. The air is 75, 80 degrees. The sun's about to come up. We put everything